All right. Hey, everybody. We're going to get started here in a minute. Today is going to be like our State of the Union on Dataforma. There are a lot of updates on things that we told you about. There's going to be a lot of new updates that I think everyone's going to like. Remember, if you can't stay for the whole thing, that's totally cool. It will send you the recording after this is done. Feel free to share with everyone you know. Feel free to share with people that don't use Dataforma. Our best source of leads every year is contractors speaking to other contractors. So we would be very, 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 very happy if you told other people about us, because the worst part about Dataforma, other than the aesthetics that we're fixing over the course of this year, is our marketing. We're very good at the sales process. We are not great at marketing. So please help us out. And I know a lot of you have, so thank you very much. All right, I've got a list of about 10 or 11 things here we're going to go through. There will be time for questions at the end. I believe Amanda is on answering questions during, but I think somebody hacked into her bank account, so she may be busy. But I will definitely, I'll try to get through this in 25 or 30 minutes and save some time to go through questions. Wendy, already asking questions. Let me see here. Was that you, Wendy? Chat. Nope. Okay, cool. All right. First and foremost, sales module update. Okay, the dashboards are live. So I think that people will actually start using the sales module, specifically Dataforma will start using the sales module in April when we release the accounts and sending proposals from the field. So that's how quickly this is coming. But we have the live dashboard. So this is live. This is not the prototype, okay? We're going to look at the prototype in a minute here when we go through some of the maintenance things, but this is live. So all of you can right now go into the sales module, and what you do is from the home page, you click the choose file drop down, you scroll down to sales, right? Start setting up your dashboards. There's only 3 widgets. The one thing that I was very surprised about was I asked tons of people on these meetings personally, give us idea for sales reports so that we can make them as widgets. Right now, there's only 3. We have a few others that we're building. I want like 15 or 20 possible widgets, right? So I want you to have an army of widgets that you can choose from, because remember, you can have multiple dashboards. So you can even have different widgets on different dashboards. But these are the 3 that we have now. Remember how cool the functionality is. If you want to remove things from reports, right? You can go in. What's really nice about these widgets is that, you know, you can further customize them. I do believe in the future, like maybe next year or so, we're going to allow you to just build your own widgets, like select a bunch of criteria, and then it'll create a widget for you. But then, you know, you would have to select an X and a Y axis. But right now, you can select widgets. You could have the same widget on your dashboard multiple times. And like, let's say one was a quarterly report and one was a, you know, fiscal year report or the past year report, right? So start playing with the dashboard now and these widgets. And please email me, text me, whatever you like to do. Give me, you know, ideas for widgets, because I think we'll have 3 or 4 more in there shortly, but I want 15 or 20, right? And remember that you can, like, you know, resize these suckers. You can move them around, you know, make your dashboard your own. I think that you're really going to start using this in April-ish when these accounts come out, and then when sending proposals from the field come out. So that's the update on sales. So yes, the dashboards are live. And remember, Mark talked about this a lot, and he reminded me yesterday. What we want to do for you guys is show you that we can move very quickly. All of this was done in like 2.5 months, because this wasn't even really solidified until after our user conference, you know, in November. So 2.5 or so months is all it took us to get this out. So we want to keep providing functionality because there are going to be about 20% of you that instantly, we call them like the early adopters, that no matter what's new, they're going to start using it and tinkering with it and playing with it. What's cool is those early adopters are going to give us ideas for how to enhance it. And since we're doing this agile development, not only can we produce this quickly, but we can tweak it quickly. So we don't think it's going to be perfect when we first release it. We think it's pretty darn cool, which is definitely the response that we've gotten. But now instead of, old school where it's an hour or a year and a half to make an upgrade, we're talking weeks and months to make little tweaks. So I would say play with the dashboard. Please, please, please send me ideas for these widgets. And then know that accounts and proposals coming April, mid-April. And that's when I think people will be actively using, again, specifically Dataforma will be actively using the sales module. Yep. And then again, features continue to come out all the way through fall. Next, there's a cool surprise. We've built a drawing tool. So it is in testing, which means you'll have it within a month. This is not something we're working on or we're thinking about. It's built. It's in testing. You will have it released to you in like a month or so. So here I know I have it on my desktop. So here, I'm going to go into, I have actually a live version I can show you. So in Dataforma, let's say I went to a building. It works with site tags, and I'll explain why, because this is also going to lead guys into completely redoing our inspection process. I think that the result of our inspection process is really cool. The reports and templates we can build are awesome, but I think the process got a little too clicky for the guys in the field. So I'm going to show you this first and then how that corresponds with a whole new inspection process. So here we can draw areas. So let's just pretend that I want to sketch this roof. And it's just using Google Maps. So here's this roof area. I know that's not right, but that's all right, guys. Boom. Now it's asking, hey, does this pertain to a current area on this roof? Or I could create a whole new area if I wanted to, right? But let's say that this is, boom, this roof section. Now we have the GPS coordinates and the drawing, the polygon of that roof area, okay? Then I can sketch another area. So let's say I want to sketch this one. So this is the overhang roof. So a lot of things just happened. One, now in that building, we always know the roof areas and we know the GPS coordinates of those areas. So if your staff goes out there and drops a site tag, that site tag is going to be automatically allocated to that roof area. So I can just drop a whole bunch of site tags, right? And it knows which roof areas it pertains to because, it's within those GPS coordinates. So they're going to go out there and drop site tags. It's now going to automatically allocate to that area. And what's really cool about this is now we're going to redo inspections and it's coming soon. We're talking before summer, you'll have a whole new inspection process. You won't have to, go through the steps. They can just go out there and we're going to use field reports for it. And they're just going to drop a whole bunch of site tags on the roof. When they walk around, they see an issue, they're going to drop a site tag because it'll get automatically attributed to that area. They're going to be able to add, their description, their pictures to it. They're going to be able to add a cost, right, for each deficiency. So now it's going to say, hey, how much is this one actually going to cost? So we can now build reports that show the actual drawing of those areas on that report. And then it's going to show the cost of the repairs. And then at the end, it's going to, to have a cumulative, tab of here's all of the cost of repairs for this entire report. So like other systems that have done this, a little bit slicker than us, all I'm going to do is walk around the roof, drop a bunch of site tags, take some pictures, add a cost, and move on. Theoretically, when they're done dropping their deficiencies, they could be done. Now, you could also add maybe a couple things like, hey, tell me the general findings, right? Stuff like that. And what we've also done, which is really, really cool, we're also already working on, it's in development, right? So you'll have this summerish as well. You could just walk and talk. Your staff will no longer need to even hit a button. They could say, Dataforma, create a site tag where I'm standing. It'll create a site tag. You could use your voice to label it. You could use your voice to describe what needs to happen in the price. You could then maybe at the end, or if you're just at a site tag, maybe I don't even want to take a bunch of pictures. I just want to say, create a site tag for me, hold the record button, make a video of where I'm standing and what I'm looking at, right? So I'm just talking to my phone, taking a video. And then when I'm done after like a minute of talking or 30 seconds of talking, it's going to use AI to grab the pertinent pictures from what I described and what I was saying at that time to add comments to those pictures. And it's going to build those site tag photos. Or you could do it for an entire report, right? Let's say at the end of a day on a production job, Dataforma cues your foreman, hey, you never created a daily job report today. Do you want me to make one for you? You say, yes, please. It could then read you the questions that you've created for that report and what you want. So it's going to cue them, right? I always joke when my daughters come home from school, I'll say, how was your day? And they'll say, good. It's like, great, I got nothing. But if I cue them, hey, honey, I see you have a Band-Aid on your knee. Did you fall today? Oh, yeah, I fell today because, Cameron was chasing me around and we're at Cameron's Market. So then we're going to do the same thing for your staff. It's going to tell them the information that you want. So it's cueing them what to respond with. But I mean, the start of this is the drawing tool's already done. You can create the drawings of the roof and the roof areas. It'll attribute those site tags to those areas. And we're talking in a month, you're going to have this. That's going to lead into inspection reports being as slick as anything that you see out there in the entire market, and then immediately turning that into walking and talking where I don't even have to click, right? And that's going to be for all the field reports that are in Dataforma. So that's how cool and how fast we're running with this. I was really proud of our developers. If anyone met Ben Porter when he was at our PSU this last year, he knocked this puppy out in a pretty short time frame. So, and again, I don't think it's going to be perfect. I think it's going to be 85, 90%. You guys are going to mess with it and tell us like, hey, you forgot this, or let's tweak that. And that's what we're going to do. But again, we're trying to show you that we're always on the ball now and moving really, really quick. I also have another little surprise. Let's find this one. So we added, and this one is just a video. And actually, I'll show you. Ben also mocked up the new field reports, even just making it more aesthetically pleasing. So this is great because this shows just how much clearer, what is the question, right? What's the answer? So he even tweaked already just the aesthetics of how this is going to look. And then also what's cool is just like in the main application right here, boom. Let's go here. In the main application, like everyone got upset when there was too many tabs opening. So put the same thing in the mobile app. So now when I'm selecting a question, it doesn't switch to another screen. I select an answer and switch back. It just pops up my answers. I click it. The background never changes, right? I'm always on the same screen. So it's just a lot easier for them to use. So the aesthetics and even the user interface, much, much, much better. So again, we're creating new functionality while we're also upgrading the things like the aesthetics, just like we're doing in the main application. So the next one is, so mobile work orders, right? So for mobile like service managers, this is one of the biggest requests. So what we're doing here is we're just trying to make it see so that you can see all of the work orders that are scheduled on a certain day. So as we're going through, here's all of the events, right? Which which building, which work order number, which foreman, right? So now if I'm the service manager, I can see whom is going where. This is the first version of this. If you want us to build the actual like work order calendar looking view, just give us some ideas of how it would look, because we played with it and we thought this was something that was great to get out now for service managers. Because again, this is not something that we're talking about. You're going to have this around March 10th. And for people that don't know, when I say around March 10th, that doesn't mean usually that, hey, we don't know if it's done. It means that the way we roll out our functionality takes multiple days to get to all of our, thousands of contractors. It doesn't go out to all of you at once, because then if there's a bug, we have thousands of problems. It goes out to our longest, serving beta testers first, and then it goes to the next group, and then it starts rolling out to everyone else. But this is meant to be for service managers in the field on the mobile app. How can I see? And you're going to see there's some searching capabilities as well here. So like, here's a day. I want to search on certain things. I want to see certain foremen, etc. So you're going to have this on the 10th. Beat it up, test it, tell us what you think is good, tell us what you think is bad. But it's another really cool one because it's something that we didn't even really talk about. It just, our developers were told about it and they built a solution. Service module. So this is being worked on right now as well. So this, you guys are going to have, let me see where Amanda says here. So the work order calendar, like we said, you're going to have that in, what is that, 13 days or something? The service module in the spring, what we call the list and search. So basically the main views here. So here, list and search. This part of it is going to get upgraded first. So this, again, we're talking about not months from now, like 1 or 2 months from now, but not like, summer, fall. In the spring, going to be the creating a work order and editing a work order. So like the individual tickets, that's what you're going to have in the summer. But what's really cool is if you haven't seen this, it's the same idea. We want all the information on a single page. So when we built Dataforma 25 years ago, there was the work order, the field ticket, and the invoice tabs, right? Well, if I wanted to see what the customer called and told us, and then what we did on site, and then if we invoiced them, it was 3 clicks, which was great 25 years ago. But nowadays, it's like, I want to see that initial information right here, right? All the information on the building. What did they tell us? What did we do when we were out there? And then all of the invoice information, right? And again, I'm not going to multiple tabs. Even clicking on this work order didn't open a new tab, right? My old screen is still back there. Nothing has to reload. It pops open what we call a modal. So we're trying to use these modals whenever we think it's advantageous to not have a separate tab. Because right here within this work order, I know everything about this work order. If there's a warranty on the building, it's going to, alert me. You're going to see a lot more alerts in Dataforma moving forward, right? It'll even alert the guys in the field, like, hey, there's an active warranty on this building. So, this here is coming in the spring. You're going to have this list view that you can play with. And then that individual work order ticket, that's what's coming in the summer. And then the big one that Mark actually has been expediting himself is maintenance contracts. So we've made a ton of progress on maintenance contracts. Let me see where Amanda says this is coming out so I don't lie and she kills me. Okay, so this summer. So yeah, because originally we had told people the fall when we were at our user conference, but you're going to have this in summer. And again, there's going to be more alerts than we had originally intended. So Dataforma is going to start queuing your office staff like, hey, you should be doing this, right? It was, 25 years ago, it was great that we could search and find what needed to be done. But now Dataforma is going to actively tell you what things should be done. And then probably in a month or two, we're going to have a big webinar about advanced AI and agents in Dataforma because that's happening way more quickly than we thought. But for now, this maintenance contract, we've shown it to a handful of people. Um, Feel free to give feedback or ideas, but we think it's awesome. So you can have a maintenance contract on any building or number of buildings, right? It can have whatever duration that you want. It can have as many visits per year as you want, and it can have a contract value. You can see here, it's alerting you that things are expiring. But even individual contracts, it's showing you you're behind. Because if you're supposed to be out there 4 times a year and you've just crossed into the fourth quarter and you don't have that third visit, it's going to say like, hey, you're behind. Like we missed a visit. We need to catch up. So it's going to actively tell you, right? And again, we don't want you to have to just read data all the time. It's going to show you with graphs, right? And aesthetically pleasing items that where we are on this. And then when I click on a contract itself, I mean, that we think this is really cool. There will be some like pie graphs and stuff built into this too. Because like, hey, we're saying we're going 2 times. There's 4 buildings, so it's a total of 8 visits. We've done 3. The contract value was 6,000. How much have we invoiced? And how much do we still have to invoice on this? Show me all of the invoice or the work orders, sorry, that pertain to this, right? Because any number of work orders can be tied to this. All the invoices that pertain to this, you will now be able to invoice against a maintenance contract. Like right now, it's you invoice against a work order or a project. You'll be able to invoice directly against a maintenance contract. And then what's really cool is you will also be able to track additional work that you've won. So it's not in this particular prototype because Mark added it earlier this week, but you will be able to say, here's the 8 visits, but also because of these 8 visits, we got $14,000 of additional repair work, right? And then it'll show you your profit on the maintenance contract. Hey, we billed $6,000. We had a hard cost of $4,200. Maybe we profited $1,800. But if you include the additional work we sold for $14,000, that only cost us $6,000. That's another $8,000 of profit. So that is all going to be tracked. And again, it's not going to be difficult. It's all one click to tie things together. Even here, like scheduling, like look how cool, again, the interfaces are changing rapidly. And we're going to make it so simple for your staff. There's no more interpreting data. It just says how many buildings, how many visits, how much has been scheduled, how much has been completed. And then each building, it's even showing us what has been done. So we know what needs to be done. Even here, current status is open. Like, what do we have? We've completed one, we've scheduled one, right? You're going to be able to, and again, so that it's crazy how quickly it's coming together, but you're going to have this stuff in the summer. And then Amanda, if you're on, you can talk automation.
Absolutely. So we've been putting a lot of effort into helping you guys automate your workflows. We are going to be implementing some built-in automation into Dataforma. We have a lot of really great plans as it involves with AI or just some mass texting your customers when storms are coming out. Being able to link events with your Outlook calendar. So a lot of those are on the horizon, but in order to get you guys some automation options right away, we did develop a Dataforma Zapier app that allows you to connect to our API way easier. And that right now is a private app, so you do have to request access to that. So you can reach out to me, awalker@dataforma.com to get access to that. So I've set up we've set up a lot of common, like create a building, pull the most recent events, and we will be adding
So Amanda, so that means like basically they could use that if they had a form on their website to create like a building or a work order in Dataforma. Or give me an example or two.
Absolutely. So the first one we did was being able to search through buildings by zip code so that you could pull all of the related contacts, pull their phone numbers, and then send a text. So the searching for buildings by zip code, pulling out the related contacts to those buildings. Those are just simple actions you can add as opposed to writing all of that code out to doing all of that. But also creating a work order is in there, and we're going to be adding in when something changes on a work order or a new work order is created, it can trigger something that you guys want to automate. So we're going to be building that out further. There are many, I wouldn't say many, there's a few different user guides on the help docs. So you guys should definitely take a look at that. It helps you through that. And you just have to have the Dataforma API on. So reach out to your account reps for that if you don't already. And then you just have to request access to that app from me at awalker@dataforma.com. And I'm definitely able to help in any way. When I posted one of the first help docs for, I think it was the adding events to your Outlook or Gmail calendar. So that is available through the Dataforma Zapier app. As soon as I posted that user guide, we had someone reach out to us within 10 minutes to ask for access. So people are using it, so that's really awesome. And then yesterday, we had someone ask about Power Automation through Microsoft. So I also created a custom connector, which does the same thing, which allows you to connect to the our Dataforma app just easier instead of having to build out all of those requests. And that's in testing right now, but that should be available soon. Again, that would be something that we would give you access to, and there will be a user guide for that as well. But yeah, we're committed to developing some built-in automation inside of Dataforma so you don't necessarily have to use these third party. But since you guys are already using these third party applications, we just wanted to make it easier for you guys.
Yeah, so in general, Zapier and this I'm asking, not telling Amanda. Zapier is a way for people who don't have technical resources to be able to bridge systems together, correct?
That is correct. Yep.
So, like a lot of this stuff too, it's like we know that you guys want to have some sort of connection. We can't always spend the resources like that. The Outlook thing, we'll probably do, a more what we call native, or we build a full integration. But in the interim, it's like, hey, we can allow you to build that integration yourself with Zapier because it just makes it a lot simpler for you and for us. So we're giving you access to things that you want via this Zapier. So I would say definitely check out Zapier. A lot of these things, again, we will have more in-depth integrations that we build ourselves, but we don't want to make you wait anymore. So, and again, a lot of this stuff, it takes Amanda's time. We don't charge you. So please take advantage of it because Amanda's awesome and she did all this on her own. And now integration. So we are moving forward. We're about to start an integration, a direct integration of our own with Sage Intacct. That seems to be the number one Sage product that people are using because it is very API friendly. So that is the one we're starting next. I just heard a few weeks ago that Computeries now has an API. Vista and Viewpoint are ones that we're also going to do. And then Acumatica. So those are the ones that we're looking at now. Sage Intacct, we're starting now. We're hoping, I don't know how long it's going to take. Let's call it 3 to 6 months. That's one of the things AI should really help us with, especially since we already have the QuickBooks Online integration. They shouldn't differ too greatly. So we're hoping we can start pumping these out. Foundation's a big one. I know they still don't really have an API. They're pretty difficult to work with. I would love to have an integration with them. So if anyone on this call has a good relationship with their foundation rep, please get me in touch with them so we can at least begin speaking with them. But Sage Intacct, we are starting now. So if you're using that system or switching to it, Q3, Q4, you will have a direct integration. Other cool things we're working on, estimates. We showed this I guess a year and a half ago. We didn't forget about it. We wanted to get the sales module done first. So we still have the prototype. We're very happy with the design of it. We are going to start building this probably end of spring, and we think it's going to be out in the fall. So you'll be able to do service estimates right? Like I mentioned with inspection reports, you're going to be able to have a price in there, but maybe you want to do an actual estimate to produce that price. We have a bunch of clients that do commercial and residential roofing. We think this will be really good for estimating a residential roof. Think of it as a very advanced Excel spreadsheet with the ability to add markups and other items online, even pulling in maybe your QXO pricing, right? So you'll be able to do that from the mobile app, from the web application, and then that will instantly turn into a proposal. So that is also coming this fall. Customer texting, finding, like Amanda mentioned, we don't want you to have to wait. So in Zapier, there's a way to do customer texting now, right? But we are also going to put in, because we could text your staff. That was our first foray. Now we're going to make it so you can directly from your web application, your mobile, whatever it is, text the customer updates. Like we definitely think it should be able to, your service technician, like maybe on the mobile app, right? I'm a service tech. I just finished job A. If I clock into job B, maybe there's a button there that says, or maybe you have a default that does it, where it's like, hey, should you be, do you want to send a text to that next, that next person you're going to see? So if it's Wendy Gilk, that's, job B, and I hit, hey, start my time, boom, it automatically sends a text like, hey, Brian's on his way. He'll be there in 45 minutes. Here's how ugly he is. But yeah, that'll be this fall as well. And then, so this is the design stuff. But before that, I'm also going on a road trip with QXO because of if you haven't heard about our QXO integration, uh, please contact me or someone at Dataforma. You can create RFPs, like get pricing quotes directly from QXO. It uses your job account, so it knows your pricing. It can then immediately turn into a purchase order, right? And somebody at QXO at that branch will actually physically review it. So it's not just like it's all electronic. You're electronically submitting information, they're reviewing it, and then they're going to electronically respond to you, right? So you can put notes in and they can put notes back. Eventually, you're going to be able to haggle on pricing. But for now, RFPs, create purchase orders, and those purchase orders in a few weeks here will immediately turn into payables against that job here in Dataforma. So you can create purchase orders here in your Dataforma system right now today. And I'm going to LA area, actually Pico Rivera on the 17th, and then Sacramento on the 19th. And then I'll be in Denver on the 24th. I'll be in Chicago on the 26th. This is all of March. And then I'll be in Fort Worth on March 31st and then Houston on April 2nd. So please, if you're around those areas, I'll put it up and we'll send out an email so everyone knows it. But this is a really cool integration. It's got a lot of backing from QXO, so I'd really appreciate support. If you're in those areas, come and see us. Our little events are only 2 hours. It's 11 to 1, and I bet you it's 11 to 12:30. But we're giving you free lunch, and if you stay for the hour and a half or 2 hours, you're getting a $100 Amazon gift card. So come out. I'll show the integration. Bring people that don't use Dataforma, please, because I'll spend 30 minutes, doing a demo for those people. But it'll be short and sweet, what I call shut up and play the hits. Because it's a really, really, the people that have adopted it love it. And I know that when more people see it, I mean, it's just so much easier than the typical process of trying to get pricing, get a purchase order, and then even get a payable immediately on that job. And then the big one, so we've rebranded the PSU. It is now the Dataforma Design Summit. It's going to be October 21st to 23rd. It's in Torrey Pines. So whoever doesn't know, that's the La Jolla area of San Diego, one of the most beautiful places on earth. The hotel is really, really, really nice. This is the hotel that's on Torrey Pines Golf Course. Absolutely, you can golf. We got the room rate, which is typically around $700, $800 a night. We got it down to $378 a night for you guys. We're paying for $100 a night for every single room on that Wednesday and Thursday because we didn't want you to have to pay this full rate. We want you to be able to come if you're a service manager or a project manager. We don't want your boss to hesitate because of the cost. So we're just going to eat a little bit of it. But what's really cool is you guys can stay 3 nights before and or 3 nights after our events, and you still get our discounted rate, right? Not the 800 a night, but you're paying that extra $100. But while you're there with us, this is your price. Um, every other night it's this. It's an incredible price for the property is amazing. It's beautiful. There's a beach there. There's multiple restaurants. There's a spa there. Obviously, there's Torrey Pines Golf Course. If you're a big golfer, they can also get you on Del Mar Country Club, which I think Phil Mickelson is now a member of. And there's another course too, I think that they're affiliated with. So you can call them now. This is live. We already have 20 some registered. I was hoping 25 more register after this by the end of day tomorrow. So make me right. It's cool now because when you register, we even have like, hey, what's your shirt size? Are you going to come to our event on Thursday night? That's something else that I would love your feedback on. So there's this place there called Evan's Garage, which is really cool. I'm going to pull it up here. Evan's Garage. So the hotel is affiliated with this, and it's cool. It's old classic cars. They basically put up a bar and hors d'oeuvres. So this is neat because it's our own venue. It'd be just ours for the night, right? Snacks and drinks on Dataforma. What's cool about it is it's down towards downtown San Diego. La Jolla is like 25 minutes north. So if we had the event here, it's what I call a passive event. We're just standing and talking, which is great. It's cool, it's unique. And then you're really close to where you're going out to dinner. So that's great. They also have a thing at the resort called like a sip and chip, where we could be at the resort, hanging out outside, chipping some golf balls and having drinks and hors d'oeuvres there. So feel free to send your feedback. We're not locked into either. I get the feeling that for some reason the hotel keeps pushing us to this Evans Garage. But if the super majority of us want to do the sip and chip, so we're a little more active, then that's what we're going to do. So you can register right now. I'll put this into the chat here in a minute so everyone has it. It should be on the website here in a day or two. But I mean, that is the update. So just to recap, because this is a ton, it feels great. I hope you guys are excited too. Sales module dashboards are live. Proposals and accounts coming in April. That's when I think we should all start using it. Drawing tool came out of nowhere. It is done. It's just in testing. You'll have that in a month. New inspections are coming in a few months here. So you're going to be able to just drop site tags as simple as pie. You could basically hand a phone to a guy and have them do an inspection in Dataforma. That is also going to turn into just talking to your phone to perform field functions. We have a work order mobile view for the work order calendar. Use that and then let us know if you want us to find a way to make it like a full looking calendar. The service module is coming in just a month or two here. You're going to have the list view. And then in the summer, you're going to have the full new service module. So again, we're moving really, really fast. That is also going to coincide in the summer with that full maintenance module. And the maintenance module, like I truly think this is absolutely unique. There is nothing like this. I mean, again, even just the aesthetics of it, how clear it is of where we are. And again, Dataform is just going to be alerting you more and more and more of what needs to be done. So there's almost no excuse because it's constantly telling you what needs to get done. We're also releasing estimates and texting customers in the fall. And then also in the fall is our design summit. And we hope that there's 250, 300 people there. All right. That is it for me. We clocked in at 38 minutes. That's not too bad. Let me check out the chat. Amanda, if you want to start fielding questions, you let me know.
Absolutely. So Daniel Mitchell actually provided us with a lot of good feedback to the sales module, so that is awesome. I will take all of that and take it back to the development team, and we can work on a lot of those things that were mentioned there. So thank you for that. Elizabeth Monk asked for the dashboard on the sales module. Will we need to create new opportunities in addition to projects and work orders, more specifically with the dashboard autofill based on what projects have already been created?
If there's already projects in there and you want to have it retroactively work, yes. But going forward, the idea is everything would be created as an opportunity. And then only when you win work would you make it a work order or a project. Right. So then maybe like if each company is going to decide, here's like the weird situation. I call you like, hey, get out here and fix this leak right now. Right. Do we create an opportunity for that or not? Because it sales. But I think what people are going to do is all new opportunities are going to start, or all new jobs are going to start as an opportunity. Because then when you win a job, it's going to convert into a project or a work order. So it's going to transfer all this information over. And Amanda, that's a good thing. When we release this, because like we'll know for a week or two what right before it's getting released,
Yes.
we'll make videos and make them very prominent on exactly how to use this. Because I'm sure 85% of you will be able to learn just from watching those videos of like, here's exactly how we think it should work. Go ahead, Amanda.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Craig Rainey kind of asked the same question as well of where they're currently using projects to track the incoming opportunities, but instead, should they be coming in through this new opportunity tab? And absolutely, it'll also declutter the production workflow,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
Brian?
Exactly. So wait until I would absolutely wait until April because then you'll have accounts to tie to too. Because remember how valuable accounts is going to be, Craig. You're going to be able to see how much you've actually gotten with each customer because each opportunity will be tied to an account, but it'll also show you the number of opportunities and the total dollars that they've given you the opportunity, the chance to win. But yes, I would start here. And then I think everyone will basically, and this is what people do when they start with Dataforma, um, pick a hard date. So maybe if it's mid-April, that stuff's out. You say May 1st, every new opportunity or every new, sales thing goes into Dataforma as an opportunity. So it's like we'll just start on this date. Every new thing goes in as an opportunity. All the old stuff will run out until it's done. But that way we know it's only going to be a month or so until it's done. Amanda?
Sorry, I was muted. Some of the other questions that came in, I was able to answer it through chat, but I do want to highlight some of these. So, Natalie had asked about the work order calendar we showed on the mobile app, if they can have a permission so that only certain users would be able to see um, uh, all instead of just their own. And there is going to be a mobile user role for that. It'll be work order calendar all, which will allow you to see all of the work dates. But by default, when your technicians log in, they will only be able to see their own work dates on that calendar.
Should make it work or call, like calendar and all mixed together.
Perfect. Um, and then Daniel Mitchell said, love the maintenance contracts. We have roughly 100,000 in contracts, and today they have to track them in Excel. So
Yeah. And that's,
much
you
more.
know what, Daniel, it's so like, again, I hope this is becoming so clear. Like, I get it. You guys have been doing this stuff. Like, Dataform has developed so much great stuff. And then sometimes it got clicky and it got ugly. So we're fixing all that. But also, there was things where like a lot of our contractors would say, I'm doing a workaround. And we would say, okay, cool, you have a workaround. Now it's like, well, no, tell us what the workaround is. And then if we can, we're going to build it into Dataforma so there's no more workarounds, you know? So yeah, you're exactly right. That's what we're trying to accomplish here. Take all that. We don't want that stuff in Excel. It's better for us, to be honest. It's not because we're altruistic. If more of your business is in Dataforma, it's much better for Dataforma.
So next up here, Samantha Roberts, what about automating customer notifications once a work order has been scheduled? So I think that was in reference to the automation we were talking about, and I had mentioned that we can certainly add a work order schedule trigger to Zapier, our app, but there's also work order notifications where they will send an email.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what Brian's showing.
If nobody knows this, you can set those up now. So this is really meant for internal. So if a work order stays in the same status for X number of days, tell me basically if it's getting stale. Let me know if a work order is created, right? And you could send this internally, externally. It's going to send them an email, right? And then if a status changes, so this is kind of what you're asking, Samantha. If I take a work order from reported to scheduled, absolutely right now it can email that client.
Samantha was also asking about connecting a building to an opportunity, and the update that's coming out at the end of April is going to add buildings and contacts to
Yeah,
the opportunity.
great example, right? Like I said, we're not going to get it all right, but we can change quickly. So between like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and April, you're going to have the building or buildings and contacts. So don't like, just know that we're not going to get it all right, but we're going to get a lot of it right. And then when we know there's something that needs to be fixed, we are going to fix it quickly. So this is a great one, Samantha, that just shows like, yep, you were definitely right. We left that out. But it's already in there.
And then Stacy asked, will the sales module be available in the mobile app? Opportunities and proposals are on the development schedule for later this year. We
Well,
just have to get them into the web app, yeah.
and more importantly, we've built it mobile friendly. Everything's being built mobile friendly now. So it'll automatically size depending upon which device you're using. So we're going to put it in the mobile app, but they won't need it. I mean, a bunch of our competitors don't even have a mobile app, which blew my mind. Like, I cannot believe that that exists, but it makes it simpler for them. They only have to build one thing. I mean, we have to build for the web, then we have to build for Apple. And if you don't know the process of submitting things through Apple, it can be brutal at times. And then we have to build it for Android. So we're supporting three different platforms at all times, but we have a lot of clients that like to use a lot of different devices. So yeah, we're going to put it on mobile, but really they won't even need it.
And I'm going to come back to Tiffany's question, but Elizabeth asked a really, really good one about the sales module. If you're not creating the project until it's rewarded, how are we tracking prior to that stage, like scheduled events and estimators? And that we also added, that's coming out in April, is the events tab.
Good
So
one.
they will have their own events.
Yep. And guys, this is going to be so cool that like if you have multiple trades, and this will probably be an upgrade later this year, but if you have multiple trades involved in this one opportunity, you'll be able to track, did we win the opportunity or not, right? But you'll also be able to track on each estimator, or maybe it's the same estimator for the different trades. Let's pretend it's roofing, siding, windows, right? It's not three opportunities, it's one. And then I could have an estimate for each one of those trades. And then there's an estimator that's going to be associated with that. So even if Craig does the roofing and he wins, and I do the siding and I lose, and Tiffany does the windows and she wins, we'll know that we won X dollars because two of the three, and we won the opportunity, but we know that Brian's the worst estimator, right? And then you'll be able to run reports not on just on salespeople, but on estimators.
And then Tiffany's question here, will there be a way in the future to mass edit site tags without having to go into each individual site tag?
What would you want to edit about them? We are gonna, man, are we gonna find a way to move photos and such from site tags? I know we've talked about it. I know.
Right. So we've talked about a few different ways of doing that, either moving them and or showing kind of like an like a log of different photos that have gone in from different parts of the project. So whether it went into a field report or a site tag or into the project itself,
Yeah.
verbiage, and yes, moving site tags as well as changing titles is what Tiffany said. So maybe like a slideshow for site tags?
Yeah. I mean, definitely type something out for me, please, so I can visualize it. But yeah, I mean, hopefully you guys see that we're moving quick. Stuff is out. We're not just talking about it. Parts are going live. Other parts are coming live within like 2 months here, a month and a half for some of you. Well, no, actually, we're at the end of February. So like a month and a half. We are
Yeah.
moving quick. And there's a bunch of cool stuff that we didn't even mention, like the drawing tool. I mean, the drawing tool now, when you produce inspection reports, you could have area A and it's just going to show that area on the report. Area B, here's the sketch of that area. And then it's going to be so much simpler for your field technicians just to walk around and drop tags and say, here's the issue, here's the price, and then move on. And when they're done, that's what's great about it. Theoretically, when they're done with the site tags, they could be done the inspection. But then if you want more, it could queue them for more info. So I hope we're excited. Please register, because I do have a side bet about how many people will register by the end of the day tomorrow. So please do that. It should be great. It was, we were there before and it was, I think, our highest attendance ever at La Jolla, but we were at a different hotel. This one is much nicer. And for the price, it's like when they sent me the price, I thought they mistyped it. But I think you guys are going to love it. Definitely, if you want to stretch it into a vacation, that's why, I fought for having the 3 days before and after that you guys could stay. Even if people like to golf a lot or like to go to the beach, now you're not going to skip our conference to go do those things because you can come before or after. And there's a really nice spa there. So please join us. That's it. I'm done. Thank you, everyone. Good questions. Gets boring when it's just me. All right. If you have ideas on sales widgets, service module widgets, anything, you can email Amanda. You can email me, support@dataforma.com. In the end, all rivers flow to the sea. So I'll make sure we get it. But thank you very much, everyone. And we'll see you next month.